This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and Three Counts.
Cover! We got a new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and Three Counts is the podcast, baby! It's the real deal, baby!
Knockouts and Three Counts starts now.
Oh, what up? No, it is another Thursday. This is Knockouts and Three Counts. And man, you know, we've become the place where, you know what it is, there ain't no filters over here. People got shit to say, and we're the place to say it. So we've got the return of our guy, the prize fighter, JD Griffey. How you doing, brother, man?
I'm in here, bro. I'm in here. You know how it is. You know what we do. We're going to get straight to the nitty gritty. You know what I mean?
I'm with it, man. All I know is the warm weather is over for us here in the mitten, J-Bone. It's starting to get cold in this motherfucker, man.
Sorry, man. Fall weather. That's more football, more wrestling, more MMA. We're going to be in the house this time. That's all.
You're right. We are going to be in the house. Check it out. September 30th. Make sure you check out Lights Out Championship, man. They're putting me back behind a microphone and letting me watch people get beat up, man. All the more reason you need to check it out on Spectation Sports. If you can't be there in person, just saying. But without any further ado, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. So before we get to talking about, I think what a lot of people are going to want to hear us talk about, what's new in the world of the prize fighter, JD Griffey, man?
New championships, bro. You know, just traveling, seeing the sights, and getting the fights, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's
you need to put that on a shirt.
Bro, you feel like I'm about to be the merch god. No, but we got the Gulf Coast Championship. I won that 5 days ago from Chandler Hopkins, you know, Flip Gordon.
Past guest of the show. Why'd you do the cowboy like that? Damn.
Listen. Yo, Chandler, look, we had a super fight. He put his title up. I put the VIP title up, and I won. You know, Flip Gordon tried to interject himself. He got kicked in the head. Tessa Blanchard, she tried to pull a fast one. You know, but I'm out here, dog. And so as you can see, and still, or I guess I should say, and new, and still, you know. So we here, man. We out here.
I see that. Well, I gotta know. Tell me about the match with Chandler Hopkins. What went into the title for title joint, and tell me about how you're coming out here more dripped up in gold out here.
I mean, well, I went to Gulf Coast Wrestling out in Corpus Christi, Texas. I've had a little bit of history out there. Back when I first started wrestling, and I was never able to capture the Gulf Coast Championship. And not for lack of trying, you know, I used to be in a group called the HNIC with ACH, Wheezy Woo, Keith Lee, myself, and then a guy named Dog, and rest in peace to the homie. And we were just hitting the towns in South Texas and just running roughshod on everybody. But I was never able to capture that gold. So Chandler Hopkins had a title match that night against Tommy Becker, and I just interjected myself into that match, and they had me put up the VIP championship as collateral. And when you know you're gonna win a fight, I don't care what's the bet. Like, what, you know what I mean, I knew I had it in the bag. I had a strategy, I had a game plan, and as they used to say on that old show, the A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together, man. You know, so.
Said bet the house.
Pulling out the B.A. Baracus out here. I like it, man. I see you out here, dude. Getting another belt. Shout out to the cowboy Chandler Hopkins. You know, we talk about the VIP Wrestling Championship, man. We are going to have to talk about what's next for that title. Since you talk about, you know, having to put that on the line, you know, you mentioned being in a group with the man. You know, it looks like your old friend Keith Lee is coming looking at that title you got there.
Man, I don't even. I have to choose my words carefully because tensions are boiling high at the family gatherings. I'll just say that. After a long, grueling fight with Brian Keith, who's, as y'all know, one of the best.
We just saw him in Chicago. Shout out to BK.
Yeah. Just a brilliant athlete. And you know, I was just riding off a high from that victory, you know, and I don't know. Like I tried to shake BK's hand, and then he did the tip of the cap, and I'm like, look, like shake my hand, bro. And so I hit him in the head with the title belt, you know. And Keith didn't like that. Okay, like he wasn't happy with that, and so he kind of stepped in there with me and said he wasn't happy about what I was doing, and then everything played out how it played out. He freaking power bombed me and shit. And he got
Should
to
we
come
give?
back. That's my brother. Okay, like I'm conflicted about it because that's my brother. But it's like I be wanting to be like, bro, we not kids no more, bro. You're not finna just be putting your hands on me, bro. You know, I slide or get slid, bro. But you know, ST was like, you know, trying to keep the tensions calm between the two of us. You know, Shane definitely plays the middle child and tries to keep the night from you know, going at each other. So it's been tense to say the least. But there hasn't been anything in the works as far as for a title defense. I don't feel like I should have to defend my championship against Keith like this. He can't just show up. You know, he's a VIP, he's a former VIP champion as well. But it's like you don't just get to show up and call your shots because your name is Keith Lee. You know, that's how I feel about it. But the VIP fans feel differently, so we'll see how that all shakes out.
Well, for anybody that didn't get to see it, you know, it's always a great thing when our guests, you know, like already are filling me up with the ammo. This one's going to be a great and easy way to go. So, for any of y'all who missed what happened with Keith Lee at VIP Wrestling, thanks to JD Griffey, we've got the evidence. So, here's Exhibit A.
What are you doing? Are you helping him? Here you go again. Here you go again. You've been doing this since we were kids. Every time I accomplish something, you gotta show up, hot dogging and grandstanding, cast.
Well, it looks like y'all got some business to sort out whenever that time comes. It looks like y'all got some business to sort out. But I know for one, that sounds like a match that I'd like to see at some point. I mean, it sucks when brothers fight, but I mean, if y'all got to get down like that, you always say that you're ready for the top competition. I mean, you can't get much higher than the limitless one, Keith Lee, huh?
I mean that part is true enough. It's just the last time, you know, we faced each other in December, you know, at Final Battle. I was on the receiving end of a ground zero, and it didn't really fall in my favor. So I feel some type of way that every time I accomplish something, he got to show up hot dogging and grandstanding. To quote Macho Man Randy Savage, you know, Hogan's always got to show up dogging and grandstanding. So you know, we'll see how it goes, man. He's my brother,
He's
and I
got you
love him.
thinking.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I think that's how it is, though. Like we were talking before, you know, we got on the air. You know, when the business get booming, like that's when the hate and the naysaying come out, and you got to be ready to defend your position. If you want to be at the top of the mountain, you got to defend your position at all times. And so, even against your own brothers, you know. So,
I think it's a little different this time, though, because I mean, this ain't December. You're the champ, so it's different.
I mean, that part. That part is different.
He's got to beat you again. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's one of those things. Like it's a different fight, though. You know, it's this. I see it differently now. I'm defending my own legacy now. This isn't like a schoolyard spat, you know, where it's because for the most part, you know, most of our lives, like I kind of bow out and you know let Keith take front and center because you know he's a monolith. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, bro, like. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Like your whole move list, I was there when you came up with it. I helped create half of it, and vice versa. So it's one of those things like I know your moves. I know what you're gonna do. I know how you think. You know, if you want to go there, we can go there. I would like to avoid that for the sake of our families, but that bout might not be avoidable, and you know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and I'm gonna go out there and do what I got to do, whatever form that takes, whatever form it takes, man.
I don't know, man. That sounds like something. It's a damn shame that Devin ain't still posted up in Texas, because I definitely would be having to crash on the couch for that one real quick, because I might have to take my ass to Texas to check that one out.
The thing I feel like I'm taking issue with, and I'll let you guys chime in on it too, is like he outweighs me by at least 100 pounds. You know what I mean? He's got the strength advantage. You know, I probably have the reach advantage. I think for me, I'm gonna have to go to great lengths to handle Biz, but I feel like I'm going to be seen as the villain in this situation, and that's kind of what's bothering me, is how I'm the champion, but the minute you write his name next to mine in a bout, I'm the definitive underdog. All of a sudden, I got an issue with that, and you know, I mean, I'm interested to hear what y'all think about that. You know what I mean? I've been friends with the show for a minute, but you know, we've always kept it 100. So Bone, what you think, bro?
Hey, look, man, like you said, you guys go back. And this is a time in history we are rewriting. I mean, you guys go back a long time. So this time it's different. This ain't, like you said, it ain't December. You're the champ now. So underdog, I don't think it should be slapped on you. If anything, he's coming to your turf. You're defending your home spot.
That's
now.
Okay, I'm not crazy. All right, I'm trying to make sure I'm not tripping. I'm like, bro.
Look, I know who we're talking about. We're talking Limitless Keith Lee. I get it,
Yeah,
but you throw a title on the man, it's kind of hard to say he's a favorite. This is a different time, man. It's a different world. It's a different fight, like you said.
That's how I feel about it. That's how.
Not to mention
on JD Griffey.
Not to mention, you have the champions.
At the same time, he's still recovering from all of the damage that was done. Like his ribs are still not 100% from Swerve breaking those cinder blocks on his ribs. You know what I mean? Like he's still recovering from that. You know, and so it's just like bro, chill out.
So, do you feel like knowing?
Bro.
So, with that said, though, here's the question. Like, I mean, as far as that goes, I agree with you. I think you as champion should have champion's advantage, and I think, you know, maybe some of the big light status of him being AEW, WWE, all that good stuff. You know, maybe people are trying to skyrocket him to a title shot. But with that said, do you feel like that if that match does get made official, you know, do you feel like that puts you in a spot where you're going to have to resort to, you know, alternate measures? Do you feel like you're going to have something extra to prove out of it? Or do you feel like it's going to be your chance to finally have a chance to shine?
I mean, I understand that that's a question that has to be asked, but it is a question that I've heard a lot, and it kind of ticks me off because it's one of those things, like, especially in the state of Texas, I have held over like 18 championships, bro, for the past like decade. There hasn't been somebody as consistent in the state of Texas, save me, since the damn Von Erichs. Okay? And the fact that we're dealing with this line of dialogue, it kind of ticks me off. Like, no, what links is he gonna have to go to beat me? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to beat him. He's got to beat me. And the fact that I'm talking about defending my championship after defending it against Fuego del Sol, after beating Brian Keith to win it, defending it against Fuego del Sol, putting it up in a super fight, you know, now it's like, now Keith Lee, it almost seems like let's keep throwing stuff at him to see him fall. So when I do fall, they're like, oh, see, we knew it. It's like, bro, like, I don't know, man. The whole thing like kind of ticks me off, and I'm not trying to blow up on you guys, but because I know you guys got to ask the hard hitting questions and stuff like that. But that kind of stuff always ticks me off because it's like, bro, who's been more consistent than me, bro? Like quietly, damn near had a Hall of Fame career, and we talking about me like like I'm the underdog. Like it pisses me off, bro. Like I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I'll be feeling some type of way, bro. And like, yeah, that emotion that I'm feeling right now, like I'll do whatever it takes. I'll break a cinder block over his damn head. You know what I mean? And that's my brother, and I love him. I love him, but it is what it is, bro. And you know, Shane is always like, "That's the bro." Nah, bro. Nah. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Well, I think you just answered the question. You just said it yourself,
Yeah.
man. He's got to beat you, and you're willing to do so by any means necessary. Again, all the more reason that if this one gets put on paper, I'm gonna have to find a way to come see that one. Well, before we get to talking about the homie Shane, you know, you brought up Shane a couple times. I got a couple things I want to ask you about that as well. Shout out to our sponsors, Potter's Tree Service. Make sure you check out them links in the description. I know Ace has been out doing the damn thing, been doing all the estimates, all that stuff. If you need a tree cut down, if you need storm cleanup, which if you live in Michigan, there's probably a good chance you might right now. If you need your yard cleaned up and all that stuff, anything to do with trees, the wood chipper, all that stuff, don't call Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Call Asa Potter. Call Potter's Tree Service. Tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you, and I promise you, you'll be all right. And then maybe you'll have a 2x4 to get signed by Hacksaw. See what I did there? Until next time, make sure you check them out. With that being said, you know, like I said, I was in Chicago. You know, for any of you guys who are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the like button, all that stuff, and you can see the interviews with Chris Statlander and all the people from AEW. But, you know, of course, anyone that knows us knows that we rock with Shane, and I was obviously excited to see the big homie up on the big stage out there taking on Samoa Joe at All Out and all those good things. So I got to know, what are your thoughts? I know you're a fight fan. I know you was watching it. What did you think of AEW All Out, and what did you think of Shane versus Joe?
I mean, the game planning, like through the entire tournament, you know, we game planned every single week, like the next opponent for the tournament, you know, just to win the tournament for the opportunity to go after the television championship. And so even through preparation, it was one of those things where it was like, you know, ST, you get to the top of this mountain, you know who's waiting, you know. He's the Samoa submission machine, bro. And it's like, how do you game plan for a guy like Samoa Joe? You know what I mean? Like, you don't. You just you swing as hard as you can, and you hope you hit him somewhere vital, so he'll stay down for 3, right? But I will also say, like, who better for a task like that than the Jawbreak Kid? You know, Shane Taylor, and that's one of those things where we prepare for every single opponent, and we always found some kind of vulnerability. And if there weren't enough vulnerabilities, we had contingencies in play for Shane to exploit to get a victory. But there just wasn't one with Joe. It was like you're gonna have to weather the storm. And I mean, you saw it, man. It was brutal, right? And there were a few times where I was like, oh, we got it. But it was a disappointing result, obviously, right? Because when we re-debuted last year at Final Battle, we had a game plan. Like, we want to establish all of STP and, you know, kind of set things the way that they need to be back in Ring of Honor. You know, I'm trying to go after the pure title. I'm trying to prove I'm the best pure wrestler in the country. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get titles everywhere and show up to that. And so this was just another one of those stepping stones to get to where we need to get. And Shane showed up on the biggest stage, man, and I was extremely proud. I know you guys were proud. I'm extremely proud of the effort that he put against quite possibly the most dangerous man on the fucking planet, Samoa Joe. Like, I mean, Joe would rather throw you than know you, man. And as a submission wrestler myself, like just seeing the creative ways that Joe can put somebody's lights out can be unnerving. To put it nicely. it can be unnerving. And like, look, big bro, like stared down the barrel, man, and matched him blow for blow, toe to toe with Samoa Joe, and I was extremely proud of it. The crowd was amazing in Chicago, right? And so it was big lights, big fights, man. That's what we live for, right? In this sport, that's what we live for. And so of course the result was disappointing, but everything leading up to it was just a testament to the kind of fighter that Shane is, and the kind of team that we have together in STP on and off
Hey,
stage.
man, that it shows too, man, because like you said, I mean, it was dope for us to see him up there. I dug the boxing trunks for this one. I thought that was a dope look. But with all that said, dude, I mean, like you said, fit for the moment. I think the big stage finally got to see what a lot of us have been saying with Shane for a while. I definitely don't think it's going to be the last time we see that there. But you brought up another thing that I wanted to ask you about. I've heard Shane and I have talked about it here and there, and then you and I have talked about it here and there. I've heard the rumblings of STP kind of reforming, re-showing itself. What do you think's next for STP as a whole, man? I mean, I love seeing it in Ring of Honor before, and there's plenty place for it now.
I mean, timing is everything. Like you guys know that in y'all's industry as well as our own. Like it's damn near anything that's important. Timing and precision is everything. And so sometimes it's just about weathering the storm, and that's really what we do. Everybody in STP, like we're all grinding and working hard and stuff like that, and it's like everybody calling our shots. That's one thing we do on this team, is like we call our shots and we hit them, and so I've made the declaration, shit, I'll make it here. By this time next year, I will be the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Champion.
You heard it here first. Like, that's the clip.
End of discussion. Yeah, listen, I will be the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Champion. End of discussion, bro. Like, it's no question. And that the thing is, I'll say it again too for this. Like, if Shane's not the television champion, he'll be the world champion.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not letting it up. Like we're not built like that where, we take a shot on the chin and we just curl up in the ball and go sulk. Like, he was disappointed with what happened with Joe, right? He wasn't happy, obviously, but we just sat there in silence for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then he was just like, all right, we start again tomorrow. That's just how we built, bro. Like, it's just like, you got to hands up, chin down, man, and press forward. Like, and so that's just what we on. And so, like, when you say what's next for STP, it's not a matter of if for us. It's a matter of when. And you guys will know as soon as you see it. You'll hear the music, you'll see it, and you'll be like, oh shit, this is what they were talking about. And by that time, it'll be too late. Like, the bandwagon is full, but people can run behind it. Like, that's the only spots available. The bandwagon's full. We here to, put them in a bag. We body bagging everybody, bro. It's body bags. My condolences, bro. Like, it's body bags though, but it's just what we doing, bro.
Better watch out, man.
Remember, what was it? Before the acquisition of Ring of Honor, we were talking to Shane and we were just talking about just the transition of everything, and everything's just so unknown. And like, look at them now. You know what I mean? Main event with Samoa Joe. Like, look how far they've come just since then. Look out, man, because they ain't playing. I believe everything JD's saying right now.
Hey, man.
And that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about the new iteration of Ring of Honor is it's the place of opportunities. Like, think about the things that you've seen in Ring of Honor since Tony Khan acquired it. It's another level, right? But it's just more difficult because there are more opportunities. That means you're going to have to fight that much harder to not only solidify a spot, but defend it and keep it. Because everybody in Ring of Honor is good, bro. Everybody's good. Everybody in AEW is good. You hear it all the time. It's like, why isn't this person here? Why isn't this person doing this? This person deserves that. There's nobody in that locker room that you can't say that about. In AEW and Ring of Honor, there's nobody you can't say that about. Yes, everybody there deserves to be there. Everybody there works hard. You know, it's like, oh, this person doesn't deserve that because they don't work hard. No, everybody's working hard. This is the new Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? And so when you see Shane pull up and knock somebody out, there's no other option. It's either kill or be killed around here, because it's like the only thing that matters is your next bout. And if you don't survive this one, there ain't a next bout. There's not going to be one. It's that simple, you know? And so it's like Jay Bone was saying, it's like, look at us now. And it's only we ain't even comfortable yet. Wait till we get comfortable. We're not comfortable. We about to get comfortable. We about to get real comfortable. We're not comfortable yet.
Hey, man, fuck around and find out.
It's going to become everybody's danger. Soon, our danger is going to be y'all's danger. Our danger is going to be Ring of Honor's danger. Our danger is going to be AEW's danger. It's going to be different. It's levels to it, bro. They say it's levels to this. In this industry, they say it's levels to it. Well, we say, yeah, and every coffin is 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's facts, bro. This is real, bro. This is realest shit I ever said, bro.
Hey, man. Makes me want to see what's happening in the world of Ring of Honor. And since I know y'all are watching, bring back STP. It'll be in your best interest for your TV. Maybe not the roster, but it'll be best for TV. All right, man. Well, we've talked about wrestling. We've talked about a lot of what's been going on there, dude. But we've officially had what a lot of people are calling the biggest upset in UFC history.
Oh,
you got to tell me what you think about Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya, and then I'll tell you what I thought.
I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock. Like, we know that anybody can win, anybody can lose, right? We know that, right? I don't know. I'm still in shock. Like, I think they were saying that was the first time that Izzy was like knocked down too in his career in UFC. Is that true too?
Say it again.
Well, no, besides the Pereira fight, I mean,
yeah, besides Pereira, but they were they were saying Pereira was the first time ever, and then this, and so it's like, yes, we know that a fight can change at any moment, but sometimes it's like, yeah, that shit unlikely though. You know what I mean? Like, even back in the old days with Mike Tyson, it was like, could Mike Tyson lose a fight? Sure, but we didn't think it was possible till we actually saw it.
Yeah,
and we've seen fights not go Izzy's way, right? But I don't know. That was different. Oh man, I don't know.
I don't like the fact though that everybody's slapping the biggest upset in UFC history label on that, because it's not nowhere near close. I mean, come on, dude. We've seen a man.
I don't know, man.
We've seen a man in Nunes lose. We've seen Ronda Rousey get her head kicked off. Come on, dude.
I'm just saying, how many people can you tell me honestly we're picking Strickland going into that fight?
Probably not a lot. But if I'm taking all the champions in UFC, at least male fighters, I'm saying Izzy might be the one that would be upset out of all of them, right? He might be the one to lose. That's just my opinion, because we've already seen it happen. Like we talked about the other day.
I'm mad at Jay Ball for that, bro. I'm mad at Ball for that. He said, "I'm people were picking Strickland." He said, "Not many." Anyway, he moved.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't pick Strickland to win. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pick Strickland to win. I didn't think he was gonna win that fight. But biggest upset in UFC history? Hell no. Hell no, dude. We just seen Valentina Shevchenko get choked out a couple months ago. That was the biggest. That was huge. This is not the biggest.
Okay, upset. I mean, but we had already seen Valentina lose too, though. So I mean, that's the same argument that you're going to use with Izzy. We could say we've already seen him get knocked out by Pereira.
Listen, I just don't think it was a big.
At the same time, I feel like it's disrespectful to say it's like the biggest upset. You know, I feel like that's like low key disrespectful a little bit. You know,
that's just what they've been promoting that shit all over every. You know, I'm just saying, everywhere you look, like even they got Strickland even talking about it.
I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna be like I knew it all because I didn't. I'm shocked too. I'm still in shock. But
I'm with you.
seen
I'm just saying that's what all I see in the news lines is everybody saying, "Oh my God, biggest."
I've been seeing it too. It's just I don't know. Like I don't know. Like Bone, what did you think? Like what? I don't know, bro. I'm still excited.
I mean, honestly, I think you throw that fight together 5 times, Izzy's gonna win 4 of them. It wasn't his night. He was in the mud. It looked like he was walking in mud.
I feel like he was just flat that night because, like, the biggest thing that stuck out to me in that fight is that looked like to me a guy who is used to fighting 5-round fights, and I feel like he kind of had the mindset of, all right, I'm gonna turn it up the next round. All right, I'm gonna turn it up the next round. All right, I'm going to turn it up the next round. And then as you got down to the 4th and the 5th round, he just never really got going to where he started hitting his shots. And if you listen to the show headed into it, I said the whole reason that I thought Izzy was going to win is because with the style that Strickland has and the way that he pushed forward like he did the whole fight.
He does press.
I thought that would be the thing, that Izzy'd be able to catch him on the way in, or he'd catch him with a shot and he'd drop him or whatever happened, because he had a tailor-made style for that. But like I said, in order for that to happen,
didn't gas either. He didn't gas either.
No.
And he didn't take any damage.
Yeah.
If you really look through 5 rounds, he never took damage.
I was like, in 5 rounds? Oh, he's going to gas pressing like that for 5, bro.
I mean, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He kept him on the back foot the whole time. He never let him get set. He never let him fight his fight.
And not to mention, I heard Laura Sanko talk about.
He fought a brilliant fight, yeah.
Like, shout out to Laura Sanko, first of all, being the first female to call a UFC pay-per-view, and did a damn good job too. But with that said, like, she brought up a perfect point. I think what was a big difference in that fight is if you watch the way that Strickland boxes, even though Strickland basically boxed because he didn't throw much kicks or anything.
Yep.
If you watch the way he punches, his punches aren't like chambered like a normal boxing punch. Like, you're always taught, throw your hand out, bring it back to your face. He just kind of bang, just immediate right after the next one. So it might not be the most powerful punch, but if you look at the spots in the fight where Strickland had Izzy hurt, it was because he constantly had shit in his face, whether it was back fist, whether it was punching, whatever it was, he had something in his face the whole time. And I think that's why, to me, it looked like Izzy just never really was able to kind of get in his rhythm and kind of feel what it was. Plus, I also feel like he was much too okay with having his back against the cage. Because even if you are a counter fighter, and like we just said, with Strickland's, press forward style, if you put yourself against the cage, well, now he ain't got to go very far to try to find you, because he's coming straight forward and you're putting your back against the cage. That's why I said, to me, I just feel like he never really got his rhythm. But what's crazy coming out of this fight is, let's be honest, with Izzy winning that fight over Pereira and Pereira going up to 205, I think going into this fight, most people thought, okay, well, if Izzy wins this, 85 is pretty much done with. Because if he would have fought Duplessis, which is who he was supposed to fight, that's the young gun who was going to fight him next. But even if you look at Strickland, Cannonier, who was the backup that weighed in there, he already beat Strickland. So to me, and with how this fight went down, as much as I love Izzy and I'm a huge fan of Izzy, I would not be shocked if the UFC tries to say, well, now, you know what? The first time in how long the 185-pound division is wide open, and tries to see if they can get some of these fights off. I feel like the next fight that they're going to have to run, I think,
with Izzy, though. I feel like the money's with Izzy until we get somebody that can prove that they can carry it like that. Because the fact that it's wide open, and 185 in the UFC has always been like a pretty competitive like division, but there's always been a guy. It's always been competitive, but there's always been a guy. I mean, you can say the same about 205, right? Like, there's always been that in the pack. There's been that competition, but there's always been somebody coasting above the rest. And now that that's gone, I don't know if that doesn't hurt the division.
So I could see that in a way, but my question to counter that would be, I've heard a lot of people say in interviews. Matter of fact, shout out to our guys Kellen Andreas from the Corner podcast, but they were talking about this today. Even though maybe it might not be the pick that everybody has, it seems as though a lot of people are, jumping on that Strickland bandwagon, and with the people that we see the UFC pushing, like a Sean O'Malley, like the guys that are talking a bunch of trash. That's why they didn't like Aljo. Like you got another guy like Strickland or Colby Covington. That's who I was trying to spit out. I was trying to say like a Colby Covington, Sean O'Malley, even a Masvidal, if you say it that way. Guys who ain't afraid to talk trash and all that kind of stuff. I think in a way I wouldn't be shocked if the UFC tries to see it run, but it's just interesting to see how long can Strickland really hold on to that belt, because after the way that fight went, I don't think Izzy's getting an immediate rematch. Do you?
I don't think so. I know they've been talking about it, but I don't think that's the one that needs to happen.
What do you think, JD?
No, and maybe it's just my personal thing. That's the fight I want to see, because like I don't know, like you were alluding to earlier, like Izzy was like kind of comfortable with his back against the cage, and like even for myself, who I fashion myself as a counter puncher, a counter fighter, in striking, and like when I'm striking and stuff. Sometimes when your back's against the cage or the ropes, you don't feel the danger, even though you might actually be in danger. You don't feel the danger, as where with somebody else it will wake you up, and you're like, oh. A counter striker, a counter puncher, even with like Mayweather, he never feels the danger, even though when he does get clipped, he's like, oh shit, like what the, you know what I mean? And so it's one of those things where I feel like Izzy is awake now. So now I'm almost like, no, go ahead and give it to us. No, go ahead and give it to us, because he woke now. He woke.
I agree. I could see that too, but man, at that same argument, you could say he would have been woke up after Pereira knocked him out.
I asked you this last show, and I can't remember if we answered. Did he do any type of press after the fight? Any type of interviews? I know.
No. From what I remember, he only answered a couple questions, and then he kind of just was in and out. Like he didn't really say anything. Didn't really answer anything.
Not really like
that's got to be a jarring feeling, though, guys.
Yeah,
like, I can. Yeah.
If we put ourselves in that same situation, man, I don't know.
I've been knocked out before, so I didn't want to talk to nobody after.
I've been on the other end of a title defeat, and the last thing I want to talk about is the fight itself. Right. But no, I don't think he did like much press. I don't know. I think it's weird to hear Bone say like a different fight needs to happen. Like who?
I mean, you got Duplessis up there. I mean, I think
popularity-wise is next no matter what.
You got to get that in. And it'd be cool let's just say he wins that fight, and then you got Izzy coming back maybe after one more fight. I don't know who it would be. Maybe he gets Strickland if Strickland loses. Winner of that fights Duplessis. But that Duplessis-Izzy fight's going to sell itself. That's going to be a big money fight.
Oh, yeah. They already got beef there.
That would carry the middle weight division through the year, so.
That's true.
What if they fight? What if that's the next fight? What if they kind of let Strickland sit down for a minute and they say, well, Duplessis was the guy that was supposed to be here and he was supposed to be fighting Izzy. Well, we don't want to give Izzy an immediate rematch because that wasn't the most entertaining fight for him. So what if they run the fight that everybody was already talking, like that was already
if they run it without the prize, like especially in the UFC, we want to see prize fight. If you run that fight without the prize, does it still draw like we want it to?
Well, they had that beef though of Izzy saying he was a fake African and shit too. So like they had beef outside the title too.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like they were talking all kinds of shit leading into that one. So I mean, I feel like
there's the money there. The drama from that is there's the money there. I don't know. I feel bad for Izzy in this situation because if he gets a rematch, it's going to seem as he's jumping the line. If he fights and qualifies, it'll be seen as he's jumping the line because he's like this is a no win for him. But I feel like he shines the brightest in these no win scenarios, and he always finds a way.
I agree with that.
So, this is the first time, though, that I've been like, I don't know. Will he find I don't know.
It really leaves him in a bad spot.
I'll put it this way, bro, and I'll pose
this.
this question to both of you guys.
Scary.
Like, I'll be honest, dude. Like, my first thought after all this happened was, what happens if, obviously, like I said, this is the first time in how long 85's really been able to be open like that.
Mhm.
So let's look at another weight class for a minute. Look at 145 and look at what happened to Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Anybody named Volkanovski in 145 can't touch Max Holloway. At 185, anybody that's not named Pereira or now Strickland has not been able to touch Izzy.
And it hasn't been close. Yeah.
And most of them, he's beaten them twice.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is dependent on how Dana's looking at that, and we'll know that whether he's going to either get an immediate rematch or depending on whatever fight they give him next, because
sometimes Dana's very hyperbolic, though. Sometimes he's very hyperbolic. Sometimes, like with him, it's like Izzy dominated or Izzy got washed, and it's like that's kind of hyperbolic.
Yeah,
that's why I say it all depends on. We're gonna know by what fight he gets next, whether that's an immediate rematch or because Izzy's gonna say he wants to get right back in there before the end of the year. You already know that that's a thing. So I feel like based on what we see, whoever it is that he gets next, I think that's going to tell us what happens for him. Because obviously, if he gets an immediate rematch, let's say he goes in there and he knocks Strickland out. Well, okay, Izzy's back at the top of the level. But then, like you said, if Izzy has to fight whoever, let's just say Cannonier, because
he's jumping the line. No matter. He's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be he's jumping the line.
How do you remedy that? How do you remedy that?
But what I'm saying is, like I said, I don't really think there is a remedy, because I'll be honest, if you're Izzy, I feel like I just said, I think that Izzy is in dangerous territory of, depending on how this next fight goes, whoever it is, he might be the Max Holloway at 185, because Whitaker and the rest of them guys ain't going to be able to beat him. I'm just saying. And if they're going to give him a hard time to getting back at the title,
I don't know
this
how
loss might be the best thing that ever happened to him. Then
we seen how bad it was with Jan when he went up to 205. I know that was
he don't need to go to 205. He ain't going to 205.
But can he drop down to welterweight? Do you think that's a possibility?
This far into his career, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only questionable thing. I think this far into his career is gonna be
unless I don't know much about his walk around weight. Unless his walk around weight is close to that, I don't know. I don't see that. I see his walk around weight maybe being above where he is.
I would think so. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't think he might be at about 200 pounds.
Plenty of cool fights down at welterweight for Izzy if he can make that weight, but is it doable? Is the question.
Now, do you think he's gonna be cool with just being knocked out the mountain and then just being like, "I'm gonna"?
Oh no, I don't think he's just leaving another weight class. I think he's definitely fighting at 85 again. But that's why I say it's really gonna be telling based on who they put him in the cage with.
That really got me thinking about this. I'm like, damn, hold on.
I mean, think about it though.
He has to fight Duplessis.
Duplessis is the fight for him. That's the only fight at 85, other than fighting Strickland again.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that I could really see them trying to push, like I said, the whole fact that they had their own beef and have them fight. And then the winner fights Strickland so that Strickland can run his mouth and try to bring some eyes to the 85 belt for them. And I'm telling you, that's why I said this next fight is going to be the most important fight for Israel Adesanya, because if he loses, he might be the Max Holloway at 185.
Yeah.
So wow. So that's hard. So
is it not?
Like we said,
if we take Dana out of it and then we give Izzy what he wants, is it smart for Izzy to just go back and try to crack the code immediately?
I think that's an easier fight for him than Duplessis is, to be honest.
I do too. I think he's going to have some issues with Duplessis, man.
I really do. I think that for the same reasons that I thought Izzy would win the first time, I think if he's woke up, like you said, I think that the Strickland rematch would be the better fight for him, because with the way that, Strickland, as we saw, is a very, come forward fighter. If Izzy is woke up and has his timing back together and is ready to try to counter him, I think that's the better fight for him. I think that Duplessis has a lot more explosiveness than Strickland does, and he stands much more of a chance of getting caught because of the beef and the bullshit and all that's there with them. I could see him trying to open up and throw his hands and, try to make a statement because he lost to Strickland and get caught. I think of the two fights,
we ain't about to do we're not about to do this. We're not about
if you sit and think about it, tell me there's not a lot of fact to it.
I need you to be professional. You're being disrespectful. Be professional.
Tell me what I just said is wrong.
You see him.
Tell me what I just said is wrong, though.
Tell me when I'm telling lies, he said.
Tell me what I just said is wrong, though.
Well, you talking like when Izzy has these personal fights with these personal stakes that he doesn't rise to the occasion.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying he will be much more likely to want to bang it out in a fight where he's got beef with a guy than in a fight against a guy that he already lost to and lost his belt to. I'm saying he takes more danger against the young buck who's got something to prove. Now, think about what we just said. Strickland beat Izzy. Now, think about if that young guy, Duplessis, goes in there and they run that fight next, and he goes in there and tries to knock Izzy's head off. Then he's going to be saying that he's like the fucking Undertaker.
Yeah. I feel like what Izzy needs to be doing is killing the noise. Like, I'm not.
I agree.
Like, I'm in his camp, and I know what he need to be killing the noise right now because the noise. I don't know. No, there's certain people who thrive in negative environments, and he seems like one of those kind of people too. So you might be right. I don't know. If it was me, I would be trying to kill the noise because it's a distraction. Because I even feel like if he fights Duplessis, like he's gonna go in and it's gonna be beef and personal on that end, not Izzy's. Izzy will play the part, but it's not gonna really be that. He gonna, oh yeah, this beef is personal. This stupid. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I see it.
Oh, I agree that I think Izzy would look at it as a sense of like, that he can be all beefed up like that. But what I'm saying is the combination of that and the fact that he has something that he has to prove because he lost his belt. I think the combination of those two makes that fight a more dangerous fight than him fighting Strickland again.
Izzy's looking at it like that? You think
he probably is not?
He got something to prove?
But I think he's got to feel like he's got something to prove because now because you got all these people that are trying to say, oh, Izzy, Izzy ain't got it no more. Izzy ain't got this, that, and the other. And we're talking about the same guy that 5 months ago, just knocked Pereira's life out and then sent him to 205.
But here's case in point to that. Here's the counterpoint to that. How is the scrutiny that is, excuse my hiccup, sorry. How is the scrutiny that Izzy's under any different than the scrutiny he was under before the bout? The only difference is he was the champion. His scrutiny has not changed at all.
The scrutiny may not have changed, but I think the stakes have changed because if he loses again, dude, then he's again going to be in the same problem that Max Holloway is, even if it's somebody different than Strickland.
Don't be.
You can't even argue it. You can't even argue that if he loses this fight.
I'm about to do this, bro. Like,
because I'm right.
I'm not gonna do it.
I love Izzy, but I'm just saying the man's got to win his next fight.
Izzy,
doesn't matter who it is,
clip, bro. If you ever see this clip, bro, like, hey, listen.
I love Izzy. I was pissed. I lost money on him winning.
I'm not talking to Kyle right now. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Dude,
Izzy,
plus 100 on Izzy was the easiest money I ever bet and still lost it.
Listen, bro.
It was a setup.
The talk
is was.
Talk. You knew this was going to be what it was going to be. I feel like Izzy, no, you can't win them all, bro.
I know that.
His scrutiny is not different. The only difference is he's not the champion anymore. And the
scrutiny isn't different, but the pressure in the next fight's going to be, though.
Maybe, but how's that any? It's the UFC. These are the best fighters on the planet.
I agree with that, but he's got more to lose. He's got more to lose. Now he's lost his belt.
Maybe Izzy thinks different.
As a
maybe
martial
the pressure
artist,
isn't on anymore.
Nah. Okay, but as a martial artist, the only thing there is to lose is the fight and yourself. He ain't losing himself. And the fight, you win some, you lose some, right? Like, it ain't his legacy.
But you can't tell me a guy like that's not thinking about legacy, though.
You say again?
You cannot tell me that a guy like that, who, like we just said, has already been being considered as like the greatest middleweight of all time, is not thinking about legacy.
Of course he is, but he's already solidified. We talking like he's not solidified.
I know that, but I'm just saying what he does next in this next fight is going to put a lot of pressure on him. It may not be different scrutiny, but he's going to have a whole different pressure because if he loses 2 fights straight,
maybe. Okay. Before you honest with me, you got to be honest with yourself.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Before you be honest with me, you got to be honest with yourself. Now, I'm going to ask you this, and be honest, because this is what we need to do. Listen, on KOs and 3 counts, we got to be honest, and I need Kyle to be a professional. He's being funny right now. I'm being
funny. I made JD fucking think.
Okay, so hold on. Real shit, though. Real talk. If Izzy wins the next bout, no matter how personal it is, whatever, what have you, will the I won't even say the casual, but even fuck it, the casuals and the hardcore fans, there will still be some people who will find some kind of discrepancy in his victory.
Hell yeah, they will.
To where they can, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter win or lose. Like he's
going to have scrutiny either way. I just feel like
win or lose.
Scrutiny wise, yeah, he's going to get
be like, oh, it's this, it's that.
Sure, he's going to get bullshit win or lose. I'm not arguing that. That's why I said the scrutiny. So it's going to be the same.
How's his legacy in question?
Because if he loses, if he loses to a guy like Strickland, who everybody thought that he was going to beat, everybody thought he was going to beat.
And then, bro, like
I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm not at all. But I mean, if you look at the odds, he was the biggest fucking odds in middleweight history.
Fair. That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Strickland's the bum.
Kyle's being a professional again. He's being a professional.
He had the biggest odds in middleweight history, and not only had it, if anyone thought he was going to win, you can't tell me you didn't think it was going to be by knockout. I thought the only way that Strickland had a chance was to catch Izzy with some shit, not to beat him over 5 rounds.
All right, but if we're talking odds, though, odds are Izzy's going to come back and just wreck this dude and take.
Fuck yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. That's why I said, though, I feel like the stakes for him to win are higher because if he loses,
even if he come back and he just washes Strickland, right? People still gonna say something. They gonna have something to say.
Yeah.
They'll have something to say regardless. But if he loses twice, then you got a whole nother can of worms.
The whole point is, though, they only scrutinize the GOATs, and that's why
I agree with that 100%. People are hating because he was good. They did the same thing to George St. Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I'm saying his legacy is not in question. And if
legacy is not in question, I'm saying if
we know that, are we saying that the guy in there taking the blows, the guy in there under fire, we saying that he don't know that already?
I mean, do they always know that, though? Because, I mean, we've seen instances where that's made motherfuckers crumble. I'm not saying it's going to make Izzy crumble, but that's what I'm saying is that it makes his next fight. You want to talk about storylines, we're talking about pro wrestling and all that stuff. That's a fucking storyline because if he loses, that's going to be really bad for him. If he wins, it's going to be another day in the office and people are going to keep talking shit. And he's gonna have to stay at the top of the thing.
But if it's a lose for him, why is he even fighting then?
Because I want to get my shit back, and I want to get paid.
He keeps losing his belt just to win it back, so he can
get the fuck out of here. He said
get it back to rack up that title. He wants all those titles. He wants to be the 15th.
Get the fuck out of here. This man said I want a Charlotte.
Hey, we are merging WWE and UFC, baby. Let's do it.
Oh boy,
man! Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I can't wholeheartedly disagree with you as much as I want to. I can't because the facts are where the facts are there. Like, but I can't concede either because even you as a martial artist, bro, you know the only thing you can lose is yourself.
I feel you. I get it
about either one of those.
Okay, let's talk about, since I compared him to Max Holloway, you can't tell me now that every time that he fights after what happened with the whole thing with Volkanovski and him never being able to get that dub, even if most people think he won at least one out of those three, you can't tell me that you don't think that he thinks that it impacted his legacy because now he beats every fucking buddy that's not named fucking Volkanovski.
Okay, but even how you worded it, you said, does he think that? Like, is that the case?
I could be wrong, but you got to wonder if it's a thought, man. Because he knows he's not getting another title shot at 145. But the sad, crazy part of it is, though,
here you go.
He may have to, though. He might have to. Because nobody else at 145 can fucking beat him. And what did I just say about 185? Nobody's going to be able to beat Izzy. If he beats Duplessis, who's going to do it? The guy that he beat 2 or 3 times already?
I mean, can't argue that, though.
I'm just saying. I'm not even saying this to try to hate on him. I like Izzy, but it's...
That's money. Yeah, that's money. That's money.
I'm not even trying to say it as any kind of diss. It's just the first thing I thought about because, yeah, he can beat Strickland. I believe that 100%. That's why I lost my fucking money. But if,
he's not going to let that go, bro.
No, I'm not, hot damn it, because between shooting these shots so I could do these interviews, hot damn it, that's why we need more sponsors. We're always new for those. But that being said, I mean, like I said, my whole thing with it is like, let's go. But yeah, dude, I think all in all, dude, I think Izzy regardless goes down as one of the best. But I'm just saying it's hard not to look at it and say, man,
no, you're right.
You talk about the stakes of that next fight because he either goes right back to where he was and look, motherfucker, there ain't nobody else besides me who gets a title shot. Or if he loses, he's now given Dana the only ammo that he ever needed.
Right.
To say,
what a terrible position to be in, though, man.
It is. That's why I said there's got to be some pressure there. Because he wants to still be a star. He still wants to be the same Izzy that we've been talking about leading up to this fight. And that sure as hell ain't how he expected that fight to go, especially in Australia. Yeah, come on, man.
If there's anything that is not sitting well with him about that more than it's that it was a
in
home
Australia.
Game. Yeah. It was a home game like that. Okay. Okay. You were still being disrespectful. I need you to be.
Even though I said that I'm a huge fan of him and I lost money on this guy.
No, that's the same thing as being like, I ain't trying to be racist, but like,
get the fuck out of here. That is not the same thing at all. That is not the same thing at all. That's not fair.
Oh my God. No, I'm being silly. I'm being silly.
I was like, that's cold-blooded. I was like, we just went from one end of the spectrum to the complete other. And it's only because, like I said, I might fun around and play games, but your boy comes with facts when I got these opinions when it comes to MMA and wrestling and all that.
It might be a sore spot for me because I feel like that.
I feel you. I was bummed.
Yeah. I might be defensive because I feel like that sometimes in wrestling where it's just like if all these bouts that I win, they're like, okay, he an STP, okay. But if I lose, it's like, how did he lose? He an STP. It's like, bro, what you want, bro?
Right.
If it makes you feel better, I almost smacked the guy in Chicago because of what he said about STP, but that wasn't very professional of me.
I mean, listen, you in rare form tonight, so don't be professional now.
Hey, dude, he was over here talking shit when I said something about Shane beating Joe on Sunday, and I told him, I was like, hey, bro, watch out with all the side stuff. So, I show love when we're not on the camera, too. But, hey, man, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see.
First host getting in a fight. You're going to be the first host getting in a fight defending us, and I'm here for it.
I mean, look here. I mean, I'm just look.
After that.
I mean, I'm just saying. Look here. I mean, ask Devin. Devin can tell you this for a fact. shout out to our guy Miles Jury from the UFC and Bellator. You know, it almost went down at the after party, and yes, my ass was out the door. So I'm just saying, you know, I was out the door.
At least he's
I was out the door and ready to throw hands, dude. I saw my guys walking one way and them walking the other way, and then if it were, like I said, if it weren't for the fact that Devin's big 6'3", 240-pound ass is picking me up, I almost elbowed him in the nose, not knowing who was picking me up. But I was ready to throw hands. So, like I said, that's just how we get down over here. But either way, it looks like we've got a lot of stuff to talk about in the world of fighting, in the world of pro wrestling. If you guys are new here, make sure you check us out because we got Joe Elmore before he goes and steps in that Bare Knuckle FC ring next weekend. We've got Candice Cordelia from PWI. Come talk about that PWI 500 going to come through next Thursday. So you never know what's going to come through from knockouts.
I'm still not on the 500, bro. What is really going on? I've been catching
I will ask that question just for you.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. But like you guys been putting together like great shows like every week, bro. Like, so I stay tuned in. You know what I'm saying? I'm just ready to see you getting a fight defending STP. That's gonna be the episode I want. I want to see.
You can make me an honorary member at any point. I mean, Shane already knows what time it is. I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, we even let Shane talk very highly of you, and so I was like, all right, I'll do the show. That's the homie. If that's the homie, and then after one show, I was like, all right, y'all, my dogs. It's up and it's stay up. You feel me?
Hell yeah, man. I'm glad we got to do this again. You know, shout out to BK, like you were saying. I ran into him and we were talking about you guys getting down over there at VIP and all that stuff. So he'll be coming to a show near you soon. Congratulations on the new baby and all that good stuff. And yeah, man, I appreciate the love,
real
though,
life
dude.
superhero, though. People don't understand. He's like a real life superhero, bro. Like this dude is. He's all over the place, man, and like
he's shit. He was leaving to Milwaukee when I seen him. I seen him in Chicago. He was off to, or no, it was Iowa or something for Wrestling Revolver, I think it was. So yeah, he's all over the place, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to Masha Slamovich. All you guys over here hitting the road like that, dude. Like I said, I respect it. It was dope to get to be out there in Chicago. One of these days, dude, we got to link up in one of these cities, bro. Seriously.
We always just miss each other. Like, I'll be leaving the video. You'll be like, bro, where you at? And I'm like, dang it, Kyle.
I mean, I told y'all I was in Chicago all weekend and I didn't see you or Shane. So I'm just throwing that out there.
But sometimes you'll send us messages and it's like, bro, you know we are not on our phones like that. I don't know why you.
That's why I do it ahead of time. That way it's before we got in there.
Bro, you be busier than we are half the time. Don't front. I like how you try to make it. You put it on us. Okay.
Staying busy.
Hey, it's your show. We on your show, so I'm gonna let you tell it. But we're not gonna do that.
Hey, this time, I shot the line to Shane. Shane was busy doing TV championship duty, so I'm not throwing shade at nobody. We already know what time it is. Like I said, I will definitely have to make that happen again soon. Yeah, dude, I feel like we've covered it all. And before I get out of here, shout out to the homie Megaran. Make sure you go check out Buddy's Magic Toy Box. I never thought I would have caught myself listening to a fucking children's album, but you need to go get it on Apple Music. I'm going to go get Little Tank and Mad Eye Maddox checking it out soon. Until next time, and in the in-between time, make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, the share button, all the buttons. And if you're going to be in the area, September 30th, the winner is probably going to the UFC. And if you've watched Austin Bashy, you know not to blink. And hey, they're giving me a microphone. Check it out on Spectation Sports. And hey, we're going to be down there for I Prevail. All three of Knockouts and 3 Counts will be in the building. So shit's about to get gnarly. If you're at Pine Knob, come say what's up. Until next time and in between time, peace.